Straight from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. And I am coming to you on Friday, September 12th at 11:53 p.m. here in Wisconsin. Haven't said it for a while, but I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And I'm trying to, there we go, wait for my iPad to sync up with me. Let's turn down that volume. At least I know my wireless mic is working. And let's scoop in just a little bit, maybe, if I can. There we go. See if that works. So, do you ever have those days where you're really not feeling very creative? Or you've been so busy creating things you don't think you've got any creativity left? Well, that's kind of like me. We had a busy day today. I did a little prep work for my coffee and a card that is next week. So if you're local to me on Wednesday next week, starting at 10, we'll be over at the coffee house in Waterford. Hello, Bonnie. Welcome. And then my husband and I actually went to a movie this afternoon. We don't usually do that, but we went to see Downton Abbey. So we've kind of loosely followed some of those. So that was nice. And then we went and picked up our granddaughter, and now she's with us for the weekend. So I was getting ready for kind of a family celebration for tomorrow. And I made 7 batches of sourdough dough for rolls and some fruit fluff for dessert and a pasta salad. So I'm like, I think I've created out, right? Bonnie, what have you been doing? Everybody talks about that. I've never seen it before, any of it. Oh, the Downton Abbey. Yeah. Um, well, I was behind because I never subscribed to a TV channel that carried it. So when my husband and I got married, because we had each been married before and divorced. So when we got married, I had watched some of them, and he just happened to catch some of them. And he kind of likes that, the period kind of programs. Oh yeah, time for 2 days off. So then we saw a couple of the movies, and then this one is supposed to be like the final chapter or something. So we'll see if they do another one. It kind of was left open-ish. So that was kind of nice. You know, it's just from a different era. I think I would have done okay in that era. So I have I received some stuff today, and I guess I should have like hung on to that because that's a sample. But do you have any fun plans for the weekend, Bonnie? And do you normally have 2 days off on the weekend, or is this unusual? I'm retired, so some days I have a hard time remembering what day of the week it is. And I'm not complaining because I like it. So let's get, you just want to craft. Awesome. Well, find some time to craft. Do it for you, right? Oh, are you in, what kind of business do you work for? If you're doing double shifts. I used to do some of that. Hello again, Robert. What kind of crafts do you actually do? You keep popping on here, but we never really know what you're up to. Yeah, I don't mind working longer days during the week to get more time off. So when I was working at the college, I would work 10-hour days, 4 days a week. and then I would have a 3-day weekend every week. Okay. Yeah, I suppose Branson would have, quite a few things there because that's pretty touristy area. Well, that's nice that you own your own business. Do you have other people that work for you too, or are you like the proprietor and the sole employee? Hey, Mama Juju. All right, so Robert, you do coloring, drawing, and writing. Okay. And I do mostly card making. I do some scrapbooking stuff. All right. So just you, Bonnie. Well, but then you have total control of your own schedule and don't have to worry about how to pick up the slack if somebody doesn't show up. So, Juju, I have been busy all day. I was doing sourdough all night. Um, they threw you out of the card making club. So I got a little bit of a stash today. So we're going to look at a couple things here. And then because I've been creating, just not crafting all day, I mean, Juju, I think you came in late enough. I was explaining that I made 7 batches of sourdough dough for rolls for a family celebration tomorrow. And I had to make a fruit fluff. And it's going to be for like almost 40 people. Um, yes, I do a starter. Yeah. Yeah. And then I also had to make a big pasta salad. I didn't have to, but there were some holes in the menu and I'm like, all right, I'll bring these things. So with our granddaughter, she helps with some of this stuff. So, she's actually gotten quite good at measuring and stuff. So she'll be with us for the weekend. So I didn't get a really big shipment today, but I got some fun things. I am not exactly sure why I ordered more of this black and white and gold baker's twine. Because it came with the suite that came a few days ago. So all I can think is that I forgot I was getting it and I thought I hadn't gotten it. So I better get it. So I might have to do this as some kind of giveaway. I don't know. We'll see. And then I got these words for the season. It's a cling set. So this is going to be one of the last cling sets we have, because after the November release or with the November release, it's all going to be photopolymer. But this has a lot of, and it's not just Christmas, it's for seasons. So this is have a spooktacular Halloween, happy wishes you and yours, cheery wishes, sorry, Christmas. Yeah. And then there's dies that go with this as well. So words for the season dies. And there are actually 10 dies here. And I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Boss machine quickly so that you could kind of see how big these are and what they look like. I would suggest, first off, um, running them with an adhesive sheet on your cardstock. Yeah, it is kind of a fun font. The other thing I would recommend is be very mindful of the words that have eyes, the letter I, because there's the little dot for your eye that you want to make sure you don't lose. Otherwise, you'll be using a gem or something to dot your eyes. Okay. So there are 4 of those. So be mindful of those when you cut it out. And then this little banner, um, I actually ran this through without taking the dies off the sheet. So my cardstock kind of stuck to where the two-sided tape is. So it's not very pretty, but I just wanted to see how they look like, what they look like actually cut out. So I'm not going to do a craft with this tonight, but these do coordinate. So um, yeah. So we've got Happy New Year, maybe autumn wishes, Happy Halloween, Merry Christmas, holidays, greetings. You could cut the S off the holiday and just put like holiday greetings, something like that. So I like the font. And then I was at a team meeting with my upline, and we always do a swap. We meet every other month with my upline, and I meet the alternating months with my team. My team doesn't do any swaps yet, but with my upline's team, we do swaps. I have a very small little bug flying around here. Got him. What do you know? All right. So at our last team swap, one of the last two maybe, we did this. Somebody had done this card, and I thought it was super cute. And we happen to have a couple of babies that are joining the family. Um, one has already been born, and it ended up being a girl, so I couldn't use this card. And then one is due next month, so we'll see. We'll see. Nobody knows what it is, so we're just hoping it's going to be happy and healthy. So this is kind of like a do your own DSP with the little heart on here, which I think is adorable. Of course, we could corrupt it and make it into little butts or tatas too, I suppose, but they'd be really small. Just came to mind when you turn stuff around. You should always turn stuff around because it can turn into something else, you know? You just never know. But this banner I thought was in this set, so I bought it. And there's only these 5 dies. This banner is from something else. Oh, well, congratulations to your client with the new granddaughter. One of ours that was a great niece that was born recently came to the parents after 3 previous miscarriages. So it's really quite a special event for them that they had one that went to term. So they're so very happy. Babies are just precious. All right, so this rattle is really cute because there's some like stitching on it. This hanger is really cute. It fits into this little slot that's on this onesie already. There's a pocket if you want to put a pocket on the onesie, I guess. I guess maybe that's what that would be for. Looks like a pocket. Oh, you could probably put like the buttons on here too if you wanted to maybe dress it up a little bit. And it's got these 1, 2, 3, which I put on the inside thinking, okay, there were 3 previous babies and then the new one. So I try to recognize the 3 that they lost. So the card that I ended up making them was kind of symbolic that way too. But it wasn't with this because I had to make a different one for a girl. So anyway, here's this one. I was surprised that these came in such a little pack. But really, it's perfect because you don't really, if there's only 5 dies, so you don't need a whole lot. And I wondered if it was on the last chance list, but it's just a regular bundle. So the bundle may eventually go away, but right now you can save if you buy them on a bundle. So that's another thing that I got today. And then this kit. This is kind of an unusual sized kit, but we have, let me bring this one out. We have World Card Making Day coming up, October 4th. If you're local to me, we'll probably do a watch party. I need to get on the stick with my plans for it though, because it's on October 4th and this is already September, technically the 13th now. But this kit is what we're going to work on for World Card Making Day. So this is the Handmade and Heartfelt Kit. So if you want to kit along with the event, you'll want to order the kit or get in touch with me so that I can order the kit for you so that you have it ready and we will do our little watch party. So the kit comes with everything you need. And that's the thing about Stampin' Up! Kits is it comes with the block, it comes with all the adhesives, it comes with any twine or embellishments, it comes with a special stamp set. So this one says, "Hello Sunshine, happy birthday, thanks so much, to from, wishing you the best and thinking of you." And I think those are really cool sentiments. I like the font on there as well. And then there's a Secret C ink spot. let me just snip this open and I'll show you. This is actually a box with a bunch of cards. And that's what we'll be making for World Card Making Day. Now, you don't have to get the kit to participate in World Card Making Day, and it is a free event. All right, so this is what it makes. Oh, and it comes in 3 different languages too. So probably French and German and then English. So I usually just cut off the English and put it with my stamps. But this is a cute little box that we put together. And then there's these 5 different cards that we'll make. And let's see. It'll make 10 cards. So 2 of each of the designs. And they'll fit in there. And you can probably put like stamps, maybe envelopes. Oh no, the envelopes go there. Probably like a pen or something in there, whatever you want to fill it up with. And you get all the instructions for how to put the box together and then how to do the cards. So you can do your own thing. You can just watch, or you can get the kit and do it with us. So there's twine. There's 2 different kinds of embellishments. There's like a glitter one, and then these flat sequins. And then all the die cuts you need. These are actually, there's 2 sheets of these pre-cuts. The envelopes that have a design on them, it's kind of like a tweed sort of design. I don't know if you can really see that, but it's kind of a tweed kind of design. All the dimensionals that you'll need, unless you're really crazy with your dimensionals. And let's look at some of these pieces here. And this is the box itself. So that looks pretty sturdy, actually. I don't know if I don't think I need that cardboard piece, but I don't want to ruin it before I find out. All right, so these pieces, this is like almost, it's not slick or shimmery, but it's very smooth. So it's not like paper. Do I make my own Christmas stockings? I have not since my children were little. I have not made Christmas stockings. We had a kit at one point that had some little, they were probably about 4 or 5 inches. It was a kit that made them. So this little box is all ready to go. So this piece is going to fold down. There's already adhesive on those flaps. I'm not going to do that right now. And then these are, I mean, it's pretty substantial. And that's pre-folded. So these will slot together, it looks like. Oh yeah, there we go. It'll slot together so that you've got all your compartments. And then this is just a filler piece. Do you make your own stockings, Robert? And then do you have a family or children that you make them for? So these are the card bases. Now I can already envision cutting these and having enough to make another different design. So that's birds. There's a couple of rainbows on here. And again, this one could be sliced as well to have an extra piece for a card front. This is just a crumb cake. This one will be like a hamburger instead of a hot dog, I guess. Banners on there and some confetti. So all the die cut pieces you need. So those are all the labels. And here's 2 more. If you were counting card bases, there's 2 more in probably Night of Navy and Misty Moonlight. And then here's some rainbow pieces. So those will probably, let's find that rainbow piece. Those line up there. I wonder if that, well, let's look at here. No. Yes. Yes, that does look like it goes on there. So that'll go on those cards. That's kind of fun. And then we've got some little Starburst things. So it looks like that's going to go and create. Oh, that's for this card actually, with some floral things on there. Here's the little branch things. But everything you need is in the kit. Oh, this is for the banner. Hi, Fifi. So there's the banner piece that will create kind of a focal point. And then here's more die cut pieces. Now this is just a single sheet. So there's a couple of shells. So there's two each of two different shells and then a bunch of little flower pieces. So that's everything that comes in this kit. So that's for World Card Making Day. How are you tonight, Fifi? I'm just going through some things I got in my shipment that I received today. So you didn't really miss anything because you've probably seen all these products. So we'll play with that more on October 4th for World Card Making Day. And then let me just get rid of this garbage here. And then I have this last kit. Physical therapy. Oh, that's right. It is Friday. We did talk about that. How did that go? Are you still having much pain when you do your physical therapy, or is it getting better? So this is the Road to Christmas kit. Oh, very good. I'm glad to hear that. Glad it went well. So let's get rid of the box. I need to get a new bin for some of my papers and bundles because it's just kind of uncontrollable right now. Oh, I have another class to prep for next week, so I have a bunch of stuff out. I just had a class yesterday, and then all the food things I was working on today. I am so glad you're able to walk without pain. That is huge. So, because my creative juices are all tapped out from all my kitchen work today, I'm going to do this kit. My class was good. We had more people than we should have. I actually did a kit. What kit did we do? We did paper pumpkin one, Full of Charm from June. Every other month I do a Thoughtful Thursday with a senior group. They're an independent. They live in an independent living center, but they're all subsidized housing. That's the group that I do where I charge them a really low amount just to kind of cover my costs. So they made a bunch of cards, and we had 4 people more than what I was expecting. So luckily, for whatever reason, I had purchased an extra refill for it. I don't know why, because I hadn't even done the samples on the kit. So it worked out. It worked out. So here's the envelopes for this kit. I love the pine trees on there. And then look at the plaid in the back on the inside. So some people would slice off these edges and use this for some kind of designer series paper to make your kits. I find that I don't really need to extend my kits to make, like this one is going to make, let's pull out the directions here. This one's going to make, it doesn't tell me how many cards. Let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8 envelopes. So it makes 8 cards. Must be maybe 2 of each design. Who knows? Or 4 of 2 designs. Yep, 4 of 2 designs. But if you like red pickup trucks, this is the kit for you. The envelopes are really pretty. So if you're into these old retro trucks, this is a good kit for you. So we've got these like memory and more cards. So there's 4 of those. And I have found that I do not, sometimes I will extend a kit and make all kinds of alternatives. Guilty of cutting up envelopes and making more of it. Oh, don't be guilty. I've done it sometimes too. I'm just not going to with this one because I have an abundance of cards right now. So I don't really feel like I need to extend it. I will probably save a couple of them to do just a couple of alternatives for fun because like these, the card bases are so cute because the design goes around across the whole thing. So it seems a shame to me to hide the back because who's going to see that, right? All right, so there's that one. This is going to go here. And then let's set this aside. So we've got a bunch of little Christmas trees. Looks like some of these are going to go maybe like in the back of the pickup truck. I'm just going to punch these out. Looks like it's going to go with this one for the back of the truck though. And it looks like the little dog is going to go with this one. A lot of times what I do is rather than look at the instructions, I just look at the pictures and kind of go with it. So let's just punch out the rest of these dogs. At least I'll have all of my things prepped. And you can kind of see how quickly it goes. If you've not done the kits before, it might be something you want to consider because the nice thing with a kit is you can just take a kit and know that everything you need, I think that's going to go with the other card base. Know that everything you need is in the box. Well, there's a bunch of those. So maybe it goes with both cards. Oh yeah, it'll go with both cards because there's 8 of them. But I've traveled and end up taking just minimal supplies like my little mini trimmer, and maybe a couple of pieces of basic white cardstock or black or something neutral. And I'll take the kit because I know, and my snips and like my bone folder. But I'll take the kit because everything is there and I know I can just whip it out anywhere if I'm at an airport or something and I can just start crafting. I've even done it on the plane. Now, one time when I took some crafting things on the plane with me, I think I had taken a paper pumpkin kit, but it wasn't my first one, so there was not a block inside of it. So, of course, I didn't have a block for the stamps. So what did I do? I put the stamp on the tray table that comes down. I inked it up and then I just flipped it over and put my paper on top of it and it was fine. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. All right, and then this one looks like Lost Lagoon. So that's a little bit darker. All right, so this will be the other one. And it just looks like it's going to kind of be something like this with these in the back of the truck. So we'll just set these across. And there's enough dogs, but I don't really see where the dog is for this one. I don't see a dog, but the dog must go there because I got lots of dogs. And we'll just move these trees out of the way too. Yeah, the bases just seem too cute to waste on the back. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So these, when you have a kit and there might be definite, or there might be other languages, you could always keep the alternate languages and use the back if you wanted. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I will just look for the English and go with it. So this one is not even a stamping kit. So everything is already printed. So that's all different language. So that one's going to go here. And then a couple more of those. Yeah, sometimes it's disappointing if, like this one, these are black so that you've got the white letters. So if you flip it over, you're just going to be swapping the color scheme, which is not a big deal. I think that's all the English on that one. And then we have our little trucks. So you can see how easy these are. Sometimes I get these and the die cuts just fall right out of the page, which is kind of nice. Oh, this is interesting. So when you cut or when you tuck the little packages and stuff, part of the truck is still gonna be visible if you need it to. All right, so that's done. Extra pieces. I know they're included in the cost, right? All right, so that looks like everything. And then this little chipboard piece, if you have a photopolymer stamp set with the kit, this makes a good substitute for the Stamp and Pearson mat in case you need something to just kind of cushion those photopolymer stamps. Sometimes I hang on to these, but I have an abundance of them right now, so it's going in my recycle bin. All right, so let's see what the instructions tell us to do. All right, so one other thing with the kits, if you're a beginner and you don't want to buy all of the things, you don't want to have a bunch of different cardstocks and you don't want to get a bunch of different ink pads or um, a ton of different adhesives because you're just starting out, you're not sure if you're going to like it, kits are the way to go. Because like I said, everything you need for the craft is in the kit. So the only thing you might need to supplement it would be like if you needed snips or if you wanted a bone folder, but you could even use like the block from the kit to, burnish the side of your card if you needed to. So there's creative ways you can do it. All right. And then if you want instructions, if you want to see the video where somebody from Stampin' Up! Put the kit together, there's a QR code for that. And if you're a beginner, some of the basics, you can use that other QR code. So if you're going to scan the QR code with your phone, I would say just cover up the one you're not looking at because the camera might pick up one that you don't really intend to have it pick up. And then we have color instructions. So the first page is usually telling you or showing you what items you need for each card. So for card number 1, I need the base, I need the joyful Christmas wishes, I need a Christmas tree, I need a dog, we'll see where that goes, and then we need the gifts, the truck, and an envelope. Now the envelopes are the same. Oh, and I need that card front, which I already put on there. So the envelopes are the same for all of them. So that's nothing, no big deal. And then I also got some tear and tape with the kit. I'm going to actually save this one for my Thoughtful Thursday group. And I will bring in my own. And then sometimes if we've got just a smaller sheet of dimensionals, a lot of times I will put that in for my classes. And I'll use either my multi-purpose liquid glue or I'll use my seal or something. And then for card number 2, it tells us that we need the tear and tape again. Oh, and then there's symbols here if you need dimensionals or glue dots. The dimensional is going to be that little hexagon, and if it's a glue dot, it's just going to be a circle. All right, so let me push these up out of the way a little bit. So for card number 2, I think we already figured that one out. We need the card base. We need the one package. We need the pine tree. We need the dog, the truck, the background, and the sentiment. So it looks like we have everything we need for that one. All right, so then the next page, we're just looking at the instructions. So for here, let me just move these kind of up and out of the way. I'm only going to do one of each tonight. And I'm going to call it a night because I only get to sleep for a few hours and then I got to play with my sourdough. All right, 7 batches of it. Excuse me. So, who's a fan of kits? Anybody? Okay. So for here, the instructions tell us to take this card front piece and put tear and tape on it. So I mentioned the other night that when I do tear and tape, I like to put the roll just kind of up to my thumb across my hand, because then I can use my thumb and my forefinger on one hand and then my thumb and forefinger on what is my dominant hand, because I'm left-handed. And it gives me more control over my tear and tape. And then I like to burnish my tear and tape so it sticks good. All right, so Fifi, you like the kits? Oh, Fifi's still here. Mama Juju. And then Anna Griffin kits. You have a lot of Anna Griffin kits, Bonnie. So now you have kind of a taste of the Stampin' Up! Kits, what they have in them. And with the Stampin' Up! Kits here, you know exactly what you're going to get. Okay. With the paper pumpkin kits, which are basically a subscription kit, you can do month to month, where they're going to ship them automatically to you unless you tell them to hold one. Or you can do a 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, 12 month, where you buy a code and you enter a code for that. Those you don't know ahead of time what's going to be in them. We might have a little sneak peek that we might see a couple of the elements from a kit. But again, you're going to have everything you need in there, at least for the very first kit. You'll get a stamp. Oh, so you've had paper pumpkin before. All right. So your first kit, you'll get a block if they're stamping. And it's just a thinner paper pumpkin block. It's not the full size block. So it's one of these thinner ones. So here's a regular block and here's a stamp, the paper pumpkin one. So it's about half as thick, but the size is the same. And these they're sturdy, so I don't know that they're really any lighter, but they make it easier to travel. Okay. Oh, you've got a potluck tomorrow. You need to make a pasta salad too. So did I. I made a pasta salad for our celebration tomorrow. All right. So we did our tear and tape for that piece. Now here it's telling us to put dimensionals. So you can see we're looking at the back side because it gives us just the silhouette, basically the outline. And we're going to take some dimensionals and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. And then it's telling us to put a half one down on this other tire. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm just going to do this. And we're going to put that down on this tire. And then it shows this little package. And that just has a little half piece on it. And that goes up here. Hopefully you can see that in the instructions. Maybe not. But there's little directions here. Like there's a little scissors here that shows you to cut one of them in half. So half of it goes on the tire and half of it goes on the packages. And then that's funny. They told us we needed the dog. I don't see any instructions for a dog on here. I guess you put the dog on if you want the dog on. That doggone gone dog, doggone. Yeah, so here it's showing a dog, but it doesn't in the instructions show us where to put the dog. So we'll see how that works. And then for this, we need 3 dimensionals on the back of there. So I am just going to follow these instructions just like they tell me to, which is pretty unusual for me because I don't usually look at the instructions. All right. And then they basically just show us what to do. So this package piece is going to go right in here. It's going to lay right on the truck. It's got to go this way though. Okay. So if you can see the instructions, it shows us to put that under there. I flipped it over just so I made sure I was getting it to where I needed it to be. So if you snug it up against like the bed of the truck here at the back, then this other part of the fence shows. All right, so where it's already sliced where you need it to be sliced. We'll find a place for that doggone dog. All right, so that'll be there. So let's go ahead and take the backings off. Okay, and this, it shows it just kind of straight on. Straight on. It seems like the picture should be, I don't know, where's he driving to? Maybe he's just driving on cross traffic. So we'll go up a little bit because we need room for the sentiment. So if you can't see the instructions, it does show it kind of high on here. And then let's put the little sentiment on here. And then where does it want us to put the tree? Well, that's funny. It doesn't show a tree on here either, but it gave us trees in our, I wonder if they did that so that we would just be creative on our own. Because that's card number 2. So the tree must just get, well, that's the other card. I don't know where that extra tree is going to go. Well, I think I could just save this tree for, maybe it's in case you wanted to put the tree instead of the packages. That could be, but I kind of like the packages. So we'll save that for another card, I think. And here, what I could have done is sliced the window and put the dog sitting inside the truck. So we could put the dog in the road. Don't get run over. Let's go ahead and put him on there. Yeah, I had the, I don't know, what's it called? Trucking along. We had a punch and stamp set, I think. It was pretty cute. So that's going to go, oh, I guess I wanted that on the bottom part of the dog because I'm going to need a little glue on his head so that I can attach him to the truck. So since this is not a stamping kit, they're usually much more economical. Let me look up and see how much this one is. It's called Road to Christmas. Oh, and of course my computer signed me out on that page. So this kit is only $14. I was going to guess that it was probably around 15 because if there's no stamp set, that usually saves about $5 because then they don't have to include the block the ink or the photopolymer set. I just want to drop this down just a little bit. All right, so there's that card. Now, they were there. There there were no embellishments on this one, so that's the other kit. So here's this card, quick and easy. Now I will probably still add some stuff. Yeah, $14 for 8 cards. You know, divide it out. That's not even $2 a card. Okay. So let's just add a little bit of Wink of Stella here. We'll put Wink of Stella on the windshield. We'll put on the hubcaps. Maybe a little bit on the fenders here. And some glisten on the trees. You won't be able to see that, but it's fun. All right. So there's card number 1. Pretty straightforward. And you do have some creative license with the extra dog and the tree piece. Okay. So let's pull in this other one and let's go to directions for card number 2. So again, when you get the instructions, it gives you kind of the layout of what pieces you need for which project. Card number 1, card number 2. So we'll do tear and tape on here again. I've already scored and or it comes already scored, so I already burnished the fold. And we'll get this on here. And I like to burnish my tear and tape on because I find that it adheres better. And then the backing comes off easier for me. It might be my imagination, but it seems to work. All right, so let's make sure this is opening the right way. And we'll put that on here. And then we've got the truck where it's just saying dimensionals on each of the wheels. And then the banner that shows 3 dimensionals. So each of the corners and then down at the top of the flag point. And then the dog gets 2 little dimensionals. Well, 2 dimensionals. They're not little. They're regular sized ones. And then the tree. So I don't know if you can see, because I can't really zoom in a whole lot further. You can see the little hexagons down on there on the truck. The hexagons are here and the hexagons are here. So the instructions are really pretty clear. And then the tree we're going to put, if we flip it over this way, we want to orient it the same way as the picture. We're going to put a little piece of tear and tape on that edge of the tree only. And then the tree and the packages. What did I do with the packages? Well, I thought I had all the pieces here. It's on the floor. That's what happened. So on the packages, I need 1 little dimensional on the right-hand side of the back as I look at it. All right, and then we are going to take our little truck. We're going to put the tree in here. So I find I need to put it from the front because that makes more sense to me. And we're going to put the packages in here. Now, some of the packages aren't even going to show, which seems like a shame because, yeah, that really seems like a shame. So you could actually use those for something else. So maybe if I do some alternate cards, I may end up using those. And then this dimensional seems too big to me. Either that or I just didn't put it up high enough. But I'm going to cut this one in half. And I'm just going to put it at the very top because when I set it down on here, it didn't quite tuck all the way into the bed of the truck without showing some of the white border. All right, so let's put the tree back up where we want it. So it actually makes it look like the tree is laying down in the back of the truck, but I'm going to have it poking up a little bit, I think, because I don't know if I want it hanging off. I think it looks better like that. All right. And then let's go ahead and I'm going to put these over here so you can see them better, hopefully. So this piece, we're going to take off these backings. And the tear and tape. And this we're just going to put randomly on the front, I guess. Let's take the backing off of that and retuck it, which is different from untucking it. Those untucked shirts. Have you ever seen the price on those things? It's incredible. They're very expensive. All right, and then we'll get our dog. And I think if I did more of these, I'm going to put the dog over here because I don't like him right up there. I want to spread it out on the card a little bit. I would probably trim some of this a little closer so it doesn't look so much like it's a cutout, if that makes sense. And then we'll put our little sentiment up on here. And we're done. That's it. Cute little envelope with that one. We'll pull this one back in. We'll have a couple of extra trees and dogs maybe. So I'll do a couple of alternate cards and maybe I'll get them posted on my page. But that's it for the instructions. 2 cards, two little panels a piece, and everything you need is in the kit. So $14 for 8 cards. And you get all your adhesive, you get the envelopes, and you can get them finished in pretty short order. So that's all I have for you tonight, ladies. And Robert, if you're still here. So if I do some alternates where I probably will not cut up the envelopes because I like the envelopes as they are. But like here, I think I want to put some Linka Stella on the headlights just to get them to shimmer a little bit. Maybe on this front bumper, maybe a little on the grill, across the windshield. Maybe the dog's bandana on the hubcaps. Okay. And maybe a tree or 2. Nothing wrong with a little Linka Stella, right? Add a little shimmer to your projects. All right. So that's it. Short and sweet tonight, I think. And we'll leave it at that. I'll get a couple of hours of sleep and then I will be back at it in the kitchen, shaping my rolls and letting them rise a little bit more so I can start baking them for tomorrow's meal. Thanks for the hearts, you guys. I appreciate it. I think that's all I have for you. I thought there was going to be something. I think I just wanted to talk about World Card Making Day. Oh, Juju, you're so sweet. So yeah, World Card Making Day is on October 4th. Let me see if I can find what time it is. But you need to register for it, but it's free. And that way you have access to the replay because they usually record those and then you have access for like a month after the event. So let me, I'm trying to find the banner here. World Card Making Day. Let's take a look. Celebrate the art of card making, learn new stamping techniques, craft along with the presenters, and create beautiful, heartfelt cards that you can send out and connect with your fellow stampers. So we can chat. There's a chat screen for that. So it's suitable for all skill levels. So if you've not done cards much or before, or if that's not your forte, you can still do these because it comes with the kit. It will run from 2 until 3 o'clock, which is mountain time on October 4th. So for us, that will be 3 o'clock p.m. in Central Time because we get to 2 o'clock before they do. So 3 o'clock for us. Fifi, I think that's what, 1 o'clock for you, right? Registration's free, but you must register to receive the link to view the event. Oh, also, those who register will receive a gift after the event ends. So even if you're gathering a group of people to craft together during the event, make sure everybody registers so that everybody has access to that gift. I missed that. I wonder what that will be. It'll be in English and there's going to be subtitles in English, French, German, and Dutch. So, Juju, if you wanted to try to learn some French, you can have the subtitles in French to go with your French stamp set that you got. So to register, you just have to enter your name and your email address. And that's it. And then if you want to order that heartfelt or handmade and heartfelt kit, the number of that is 166213. So that's going to be the stamp set, 10 cards and envelopes, the card organizer that I showed you guys, the shaped labels, there's twine, glitter adhesive, embellishments, and that mini ink pad. So ordering is already open. That opened on September 3rd. So you can order until they run out. All right. So World Card Making Day, 2 o'clock Mountain Time on October 4th. Okay. Yeah. Yay for the French subtitles. All right. So now I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. It's not quite 1 a.m. So it's an early night for me. Thank you, everybody, for popping on. I appreciate it. I'm glad I could share these little quickie cards. When I'm having a bad day or a busy day, or I just don't know what I want to create, kits are a really good go-to because you don't really have to think too much. So until next time, happy crafting, everybody.